Ladies and gentlemen,
now tuned into the motherfucking greatest.
This is the Hype Reality Podcast.
listen,
hype-reality.com.
listen, or I'll kill ya.
Hey, welcome to the latest edition of the Hype Reality Podcast. My name is Emilio, a.k.a. Triple D, a.k.a. Dominican Dirk Diggler, along with my co-host,
Ephraim.
Frame, and our special guest back for another special.
Field Mouse, thanks for having me.
Field Mouse, back in the house.
Anytime, mouse. Okay, let's get into some shit.
It's the question that just won't quit. Was Justin Bieber enhanced? The answer, we so don't know. BreatheHeavy.com claims someone sent them this photo, an unretouched shot from Justin Bieber's Calvin Klein photo shoot. Take a look at the side-by-side. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to see Justin's chest, triceps, biceps, and, well, you know, are smaller in the shots that have gone viral.
And you guys see this fucking, what was it, Justin Bieber, Calvin Klein underwear ad?
Yeah, that sucks. I feel bad for that kid because, like, I remember when it came out, he was, like, the first person, obviously, to blow it up on his Instagram and everything. It's like, oh, man, pretty cool picture of me. And then, like, not too long after, like a day or two after the original pictures leak, and there's a stark contrast between Calvin Klein Bieber and real-life Bieber.
Yeah, it looks like he got exposed to some gamma radiation after the touch-up. I want to start by saying fuck Justin Bieber as well before we move on.
But that's the thing too. I mean, no pun intended. It took some balls on that kid to post all those pictures. You know, goddamn well, you don't look like that in real life. But no one, either he has like a lot of like squares in his circle who's not gonna tell him like, hey man, you might want to like cog back on that shit or whatever. But now he's like, yeah man, that's me right there, all natural. Like I think that's. It sucks.
It's amazing what like the power of Photoshop is. Like you turn a bull into a man, couple cuts, couple clicks. Cause dude, that's, especially the whole like fucking ball sack area. Like he had like a pebble in there. They gave him a boulder.
Yeah, I guess for anyone who's not aware, like Justin Bieber is like I guess heading this new campaign with Calvin Klein to do their underwear, and yeah, they definitely hired some interns that are really good at Photoshop to buff this dude up, particularly in one area, you know, that's kind of important for, I guess, underwear is the bulge area.
They helped out his boomstick.
Yeah, they fucking Boogie Nights that fucking that package, like
Prop cock.
Oh man, that sucks. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think this would really happen to any other celebrity, but I think just how big of a douche Justin Bieber is. I mean, you don't have like the non-touched up photos coming out for any other celebrity. I mean, he's just an awful human being, and I'm really glad this came out. I've got nothing good to say about him, so anything I say about Justin Bieber is completely biased. But even on the shoot, apparently he was allegedly hitting on the other models, just being a quote-unquote douche. And so I think that had some kind of, that factored into these photos getting leaked, which I'm really, really glad they did, because we're looking at the GIF between the before and after Photoshop, and it is just hilarious. I can't stop looking at it.
It's a Dragon Ball Z transformation
Dragon
happening.
Ball
I guess
Z.
they really, really wanted this kid to do their ad because, like, look how much fucking work they had to do to make this shit work.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm sure there's some male model they can grab to do this shit, but, I mean, he has...
Man, they should have done like a throwback and just got Marky Mark's ass back in there. Like, shit, see how that works out. Pretty sure he's in better shape than that guy.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
cool.
his Marky Mark's wife came out and showed the old Marky Mark Calvin Klein ad from back in the day, and that dude was cut. I had no idea.
Jack motherfucker.
Pre-Photoshop as well.
For those of you who don't know who Marky Mark is, because you obviously never heard Good Vibrations. And anyhow, Mark Wahlberg, great guy.
The one and only.
But this is, like, kind of interesting to me because, like, a lot of times when we see these, like, leaked pictures, leaked original pictures of models, it's usually females. Models. And so I'm actually kind of curious now how often this kind of goes on, especially in today's, you know, ad society, like, that they're touching up male bodies as much as they are, because this one is fucking. I knew like a lot of like male models, especially like the fitness models, they take a lot of steroids and shit. So you know, like to some degree, it's all fugazi. It's all get pumped up. But this one is just kind of, this one is fucking, I don't know, kind of, it's really night and day. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely, do your Googles and check it out.
He goes from little bitch to final form. So it's very drastic, but
like, how ethical do you think this shit is for companies to essentially get away with this shit? I mean, you got to make money, and I mean, to a degree, it is him. This is a very much enhanced, like, Super Saiyan form of him. But do you think
trying to sell the best product possible? They can't put Boy Bieber on a men's underwear ad. It doesn't make any sense. They had to make him a man, and they had the technology to do so.
Yeah, I mean, the
Selling
touch
something.
Just adding the body mass too. It I think with body image, especially with women, I don't think it's as big of a deal with men. But I wonder if down the road there's going to be an issue where, like, you have to have some kind of, like food products too. You have to show or state that the photos have been touched up and an advertisement enhanced because, yeah, I mean, you definitely, you go down the street and there's a lot of these in New York too, like the underwear models with the junk in your face when you're walking by.
You got all them goddamn H&M ones.
Yeah.
Fucking David Beckham and shit.
David Beckham, yeah.
Yeah, I guess
I don't think they buffed that motherfucker up though. Like, that guy is pretty fucking just regular
pro athlete, yeah.
Athlete dude or whatever.
I mean, I guess we'll never know, but I guess it's more believable from David Beckham. But like,
yeah, David Beckham whooped Bieber's ass.
I mean, I don't really care, but I'm sure I could see this being an issue with some people about, with concerns of body image in today's youth or whatever. But
yeah, like, can men be body shamed? Like, you hear a lot about what women.
Hell yeah, you ever go to the gym, bro? Those guys are fucking. You're amongst the gods. They look down at you like, look at that guy.
Greco-Roman
lift, bro?
columns in there, yeah.
So then there should be problem. If men can be body shamed too, then this should.
It could be a problem,
Bieber,
but
we should be looking at this as a problem as well.
I don't think, like, you don't hear too many guys going for any kind of plastic surgery and shit. Shit happens. It's there. You get me? But it's not as widely, oh my God, adored and, like, kind of, like, girls fucking flock to that shit. Dudes, if they do, it's more like on a low-key thing. Like, you might have, like, was it a botched calf surgery or something?
Yeah,
like
I feel like this situation probably has a situation with this, but I don't know.
Most dudes don't, like, flock to prosthetic surgery. They just, like, do some push-ups, start taking some roids, get that muscle milk, whatever the case is. You gotta fast track it. Girls can't, like, there's not enough push-ups or Pilates class to get your tits bigger. Like, you got what God gave you, unless you want to go to the mad scientist.
But even for we don't think about being for men though. That's all dollars and cents. Like, if say you look at this and you may not, like, go cry and eat some ice cream or whatever, but you're gonna get that protein shake. You might even buy some Calvin Klein underwear.
I'm not buying Calvin Klein.
You're gonna fucking
underwear,
join the gym or
Boycott
something.
Calvin Klein now.
Nah, polo all day.
I have Calvin Klein underwear, but it's not because I watch these dude models. It's because they support my thighs. keep it separated.
That sucks for, like, that a lot of this attention now has to be brought to this guy's bulge or lack thereof, especially, like, feeling that high from the highs of the highs when that picture came out. So now, like, everyone's like, oh, I guess you ain't got it like you say you do. But it's false advertising.
It's okay, Bieber.
It'll be all right.
Fuck you, Bieber.
He's still smashing way more fucking poot nanny than any of us, but
Yeah, there you go.
at least I know I'm packing bigger than that.
After the Photoshop.
Look at his little smeckle over there.
Yeah, that GIF is still running. I can't. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
God. Get him more tattoos, bro. Start lifting some more. And
Get him a tan.
Get
just the whole shebang.
Yeah, darker entourage.
Yeah.
He'd be all right.
So, hair is untouched, though.
That is a gift.
Yeah.
Michelangelo himself
Couldn't carve a...
That's a point. Actually, you noticed that. That's funny.
Yeah, the hair is unchanged.
And that fucking fruitcake look on his face, that stays the same too.
It just, like, screams douche, man. It's like, oh, God.
It's like blue steel, but douchier.
Did you ever think that maybe there's more to life than being really, really, really ridiculously good looking?
Fuck you, Bieber.
Tonight, the most wanted woman in the world vanished. French authorities confirming 26-year-old Hayat Boumediene, a key member of the murderous sleeper cell which terrorized Paris, massacring 12 people at a satirical newspaper, Charlie Hebdo, and seizing this Jewish supermarket, has fled the country.
So by now, everyone's heard of the Paris attack that happened last week. 3 out of the 4 have either been captured and or killed. 1 is still on the loose as of the time we're recording this. Some crazy shit going on, especially in Europe. I mean, where the anti-Muslim movement's been growing, especially in some of these countries where their economy's not doing so well and people are kind of susceptible to this rhetoric coming from the right in those countries saying, you know, fuck all these guys coming through and taking our jobs and like in perverting our government and with their intolerant religion. And then you have this attack that kind of, in a lot of people's minds, confirms those beliefs. And it's really some sad shit, but at the same time, like, I think a lot of people here in the States and even ordinary citizens in places like Germany, Italy, where there is this influx of Muslims coming from all across the world, people are really starting to look at Islam a lot critically and think like, hey, is this religion as, you know, intolerable as people say it is, or is it just these extremists and that are doing the harm? Like, how should we frame the conversation around Islam in 2015, excuse me?
I'm criminally ignorant to, you know, the state of Islam, the religion, you know, everything that's going on over there. You know, it just with the turmoil in Syria, the Horn of Africa, the Middle East. Yeah, there has been this huge influx of Muslims into Europe. Especially, there's been a large Syrian immigration problem in Sweden, and there's been a lot of turmoil there. But like Germany right now, with the Pegida group, which sounds like a shitty Pokemon, they're having a lot of issues with right-wing backlash in these countries across Europe, like Denmark, Britain, France, Hungary, Sweden, and Germany, as I mentioned before. But yeah, it's posing this whole new problem, like you said, putting a spotlight on it. And maybe it's not something we're dealing with right now. I mean, on such a level, but you have mosque burnings in Germany and in Sweden, and like shit's really starting to hit the fan over there. And you know, as you said, with the attacks in Paris, it's really, you know, igniting this debate across the world.
Yeah, they're stacking shit pretty high over there. Like, I think they're really on this like fucking campaign fuck Allah Akbar shit. Like, the whole thing is just crazy, and like the way it's progressing, and like every time you get any kind of like, nothing in the media is ever like not really presenting them in a positive light. Like a lot of times it's always just like outrageously horrendous shit that happens, and don't get me wrong, they're fucking doing it. So, and we need to spotlight it, but it definitely throws like a shadow on like any of the positives from that religion and/or like the people. But man, you can't ignore fucking these guys running up in a building fucking for a cartoon. The fuck is that, killing 12 people, yelling Allahu Akbar and all this shit, and like on some real like the fucking Val Kilmer and the Heat type shit, just like shooting people fucking point blank range with like assault weapons and shit. Like, hey man, whatever you guys decide to do, I can't blame you, man. Fucking do you, homie.
Well, I think it's like a couple of things. Like I personally think like a lot of the Muslims here in America, like in comparison to the rest of the world, are pretty moderate.
Right.
So we don't necessarily see the extent.
Yeah,
of
like the
extreme.
assholes we came across were over there, or they came here. Like, it's not like our homegrown like ones. Like,
yeah, so we don't see the same level of extremism as
Right.
like some places in Europe. So there's definitely some credence to that, but I think also it's like. It's a mix of that, and it's also a mix of like a lot of these countries that are like, you know, like Denmark, Germany, you know, Italy, or at least like racially homogenous places that are predominantly one thing, and now you have an influx of another.
Yep.
And on top of that, you have a lot of those places where the economy is like crumbling, and so people are kind of looking for like a scapegoat. So it's a little bit of that as well. But I don't want to like overshadow the fact that yes, very much so, there are people out there that are like blowing shit up and shooting people over, you know, silly shit like these cartoon stuff. So yeah,
cutting off fucking journalists' heads on fucking World Star and shit.
It's unacceptable, man. You don't go after civilians and journalists. It's just cowardice, man. You going into their place of work and just killing them. Like that's unreal.
I think like obviously a lot of them, a lot of the European countries kind of played with the whole story. Like after the shooting took place, there was a cartoon or whatever, a cartoonist in Great Britain that like wrote a little piece, and it was like, okay, be careful, they have pens in there. Like I thought that was pretty fucking beautifully done. But these like they had that fucking Danish guy get fucking killed in the fucking streets for the same shit, for like presenting the fucking what's this guy, the Prophet Muhammad, and some whatever unflattering way or some stupid shit. Man, fuck you. Like, how serious is that at the end of the day? Like, you guys need chill. You guys need to calm the fuck down. Like,
It's like become like this new normal where people are like, hey man, if you don't want to get killed, don't draw Prophet Muhammad. It's like,
they fucking pulled that South Park cartoon a couple years ago.
If Muhammad appears in South Park, we get bombed. That's right. Yeah, you tell that. We don't know that. Maybe enough time has passed that now it's okay to show Muhammad. But even if it were safe now for Muhammad to come, how would we ever find him? Yeah, showing an image of him is completely off limits and censored.
I don't know. That's like one of the few things I'll like be on side of. Like when you hear, especially here in the States, here people throw the show. Oh, if we don't do this, then the terrorists win. But I think that shit actually applies pretty well.
Yeah.
Like this cartoon shit. I'm not saying like. I mean, that's the thing with free speech. Like, you're not gonna like everything these people do. Like again, like you look at these cartoons and stuff like that. Like a lot of them are pretty tasteless. Like it gets on a lot of people though. Like it's a satirical magazine, and
Right.
they got on like black people, Jews, Muslims. So it's not necessarily just putting a spotlight on Islam. And a lot of that stuff is pretty tasteless and baseless. But I mean, it is what it is. Definitely not worth killing somebody over and killing innocent people over. But like speaking of like to your point about like cowardice, like a lot of the conversation, especially how it goes on in the States, like with liberals in the country, in this country, it's like they have to do this like very careful tiptoe dance to like not
They do
offend.
the nice shuffle.
Yeah, they do the shuffle so that not to offend people. But like I'm curious, like in that whole political correct dance, like are we like ignoring the obvious, like especially for a lot of people that align themselves with the left and or want to be on some everyman type shit and not say the wrong thing?
Don't get it wrong. Like, I think we kill more brown people than any other fucking country. Like, we've been pillaging and fucking up that part of the world for a while. So, like, I think we could do a little shuffle if we want to, because our actions speak louder than our words. Like, obviously, like, we've been campaigning over there and fucking shit up for a while.
Yeah.
So it's almost like we're taking like the kind of like the Egypt kind of stance on things. Like, hey man, we know what the fuck they're capable of. We ain't, no tolerance for this bullshit. We might play a certain game over here, but like over there, they look at us a certain way. Like when they see that fucking American flag and the fucking like that camouflage uniform and shit, them running down them Humvees and the Hummers. Yeah, man. Fucking respect us.
Well,
Fear us, bitch.
I mean, we've had our, we've obviously had our social issues and still have our social issues
Very
over
much.
here. And, Europe, they're, homogeneous countries over there. And when you have an influx of, a different religion, different culture coming in, you see how they're handling it. There's some mosque burning, there's far right groups coming up. But one of the ways we've overcome a lot of the issues that we have, and I think we have come a long way, especially since the 60s, was through satire and through criticism. I mean, even like Pope Francis and the Catholic Church, who, the atrocities the Catholic Church even has committed over the years, since past centuries,
All those boys' buttholes.
Yeah, Jesus. So many. Change, Pope Francis is going in there and changing stuff and listening to the criticism and seeing how you can improve. And, when you are attacking that in other countries, like it only makes your group look that much more ignorant and that terrible. And so, it's just a bad move on these terrorists or whoever the fuck did it. Al-Qaeda's claiming, responsibility, but who knows? They're like, we haven't been in the news in a while. Maybe we,
Yeah, we did
That's
that
like-
shit.
Oh,
yeah, that was totally us.
That's like their trademark, though. Like, it could be not even associated. It could just be two assholes. Like, man, you know what? I didn't really like that shit that much. Do you feel the same way? Man, fuck those guys. Yeah, let's go kill them. Like,
Yeah, but to your point, like, I mean, I definitely think satire and like speaking truth to power is important, especially in today, because that's a lot of ways you give power to people. If you're afraid to speak to them, speak out against, like, look at the shit going on in North Korea. Like, they don't tolerate a lot of that shit because they know that that's the only way they can control people's, way of thinking. They can't control information. They can't control how like people think, but they can control through just like brute tactics of like torture and whooping your ass. Like,
Oh, but they
how
also
often
do
you
control
speak
over
out.
there, though. Don't they control like the internet over there? They don't like they have limited or no.
Yeah,
access.
but there's like a
Yeah.
whole black market for shit. Like the information still gets out. Like these people aren't like as brainwashed as like to think. Like they know what's up. But they also know that if, hey, I go out there and say some shit,
Yeah.
I'm going to be abducted or someone in my family is going to be disappearing, get their kneecaps like
The
busted
idea,
open.
I think over there, like they have that whole fear factor thing going, like fucking stupid strong.
Yeah, I think their web service goes from like the government controls the North Korea web service, and it goes through like some China server or
Some
something.
other shit, and
Yeah,
also like they
yeah.
just gave their people like cell phones and shit.
Yeah,
Jesus
that like
Christ.
calls people in North Korea.
And
That's a
North
whole
Korea,
other
yeah.
topic. We can get into
Anyhow,
North
but-
Korea, but
You know,
Well-
whatever that factor of fear, man, like you can't play along with this shit though. Like it's I don't know, man. I don't want to see any more fucking people get killed and shit. Like it's not like killing to prevent killing is I don't know, man. Everybody goes kind of blind, kind of eye for eye kind of situation. But something has to be fucking done, man. These little assholes are. Oh man,
Yeah.
I really strongly believe like the South Park creator stance on it when they had like the terrorist. There's like some terrorist group or some shit was like, hey man, they're posting up pictures of where these guys lived and shit and giving the address and this and that. Like, this episode airs, we're gonna fucking blow your shit up. Like, we're gonna somebody. I'm not gonna say who. And he did not like the guy. I think CBS interviewed him. He did a nice little shuffle around. It's like someone. I'm not saying who might not possibly maybe might do this. Da 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 da. But like Matt's was it Parker and Stone? They're like.
Jay Parker, Matt Stone, yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. We're showing this shit because if not, they win. If not, they fucking you don't fucking negotiate with terrorists. But everybody fucking tends to like kind of quiver in the crotch the minute someone makes a half-ass threat. And they actually Comedy Central pulled the episode and like the fucking those guys lost. They were not cool. They were not cool with that shit at all.
Yeah.
But it's all, like I'm all for like real talk, especially when it comes to like the religion itself and how we can identify the aspects of it that's problematic. But we also have to be careful not to paint with a broad brush when
Exactly.
we're talking about with
Exactly,
Islam.
yeah.
Because a lot of times when people talk about the like, oh, they don't let their women drive and they're fucking hate gays and this, you're a lot of times you're talking about very specific parts of the world that don't do that. You're talking about Saudi Arabia. You're talking about like certain countries and certain regimes that are doing that, and that's more of a political thing than a religious thing. That's people taking
Right.
the religion and applying it to fit their needs and taking certain aspects of it. Say, oh yeah, Muhammad said this, so you can't drive, bitch. Like that's what they're doing. That's not necessarily the religion.
Like
that's saying.
gay sex rights here in America and shit.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends.
Yeah. Well, I think something good that came out of this is you have that Pegida group in Germany. He's going against anti-immigration. These right-wing, I wouldn't call them extremists, but when one of your main platforms is hate against another group, I'd say it's not a good look. But either way, 18,000 protested in Dresden, Germany, but another 30,000 in the country rallied against Pegida and anti-immigration sentiment. I think that's a positive sign that 30,000 people came out to like kind of put out the fire, because obviously people are very reactionary, and when you have innocent people getting murdered in France,
Right.
Fear mongering, and
Yeah, it's very easy to spin that to like to favor your.
the rally around the
Yeah,
flag.
exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like you're saying, like a lot of these places in these countries, they don't share the same history as America. They haven't had anything akin to the civil rights movement.
No.
Like it's just been kind of like been going the way it's been going for years, and that's the way we do it. If you don't like
We
it, you get
French.
the fuck out.
We French. That's the way we are.
Basically, like
Yeah.
so, like it's not that all surprising to see that people are still kind of butthurt over some of these things. Like, hey man, it's all these fucking brown people coming here and speaking that Punjab shit. Like, I ain't with that, but shit on me like. So like you can tell like the real attention. I'd like fuck man, my stepdad like he still watches like a lot of like English Premier Soccer and like some of the European soccer leagues and shit like that. Like it's not that uncommon to have like a lot of these really extreme right wing groups like from these countries where they'll be throwing bananas at the black players and
Oh my
spitting
God.
on them. And,
Soccer
dude,
hooligans.
yeah, like they'll
Most
do
racist
some
people.
wild shit, and like people are just like, yep. What do you expect? It's Tuesday. Like, they're just like it's kind of normal. It's like a new normal.
The
in
stadium
most
sold
countries.
the bananas. It's like Jesus Christ. It's like Jesus Christ.
So it's like again, like there's gonna be problems in those areas, and now it's like right now the flavor of the month is Islam, but I don't know,
I
but
don't know, they can definitely get some advice from America. Like,
Spanish Inquisition.
yeah, look at the fucking Irish were treated when they came to this country. Look at that. Actually, how well everybody came here, the way they got treated when they came to this country. The Cubans, goddamn Chinese in California, like, good God. Oh, those black people. Yeah, man, take some advice, man. Just kind of find a way, find some common ground. But usually how that starts off is a lot of slang. A lot of slang, a lot of protesting, a lot of some type of book of religion, kind of like giving you your little platforms like, hey, man, it says it right here. Let's kill these motherfuckers. Let's do this. Jesus said it was cool. I like that guy. You like that guy? Let's do this. But, whatever, man. I hope they catch that bitch, whatever that fourth cunt is. Like, I hope they take that bitch out.
You know, I really hope she doesn't die. I want these guys to start rotting in jail. I'm sick of them getting like a free pass out and getting shot. I really want them to.
Nah, I want like that Saddam Hussein treatment. Like, I want them to fucking hang them in the village and like.
that's the thing that's kind of scary now, especially with like they hit on a lot of these groups like ISIS and some of these other extremist Islamic groups. Like they're getting like really tech savvy, and so a lot of these people, even these people that they caught, and even the chick that's on the run, they're like pretty young. Like they're not like these like bearded dudes with the fucking shifty eyes and shit, whatever, the turbans on. They're like they're people from America getting recruited to go check out that shit go on ISIS because they watching some YouTube video of these dudes with machine guns cutting off people's heads, and they get inspired by it. Like, so they're reaching like a broad audience, and it's getting like younger, and that's the part that's kind of troubling to me. I mean, look at the shit going. Look, shit happened in Boston. Those two guys, like, they're like in their 20s, the two brothers, or whatever. I don't know.
Young fanaticals, sounds like believers, pretty much. I can make the connection.
All that goddamn TV and like fucking Oxygen Snapped, and like all these kids grow up watching all these ways to get away with crimes and all this fucking murder and shit. And like, hey, these guys do that shit too? I'm fucking flight over there. See how this shit works out. But yeah, I'm all for all those motherfuckers getting like blown the fuck up. Like, because the problem with this, like, we see it in the States, like the fucking, like, the justice system is great and everything, but there's always that chance that they can find some fucking loophole when they go to trial, or they can find something, they have a change in faith or fucking something good,
insanity,
or some shit, and they get out, they get somehow they get free eventually. Like, I don't want to take that chance. Like, I want to slam dunk this. So when they get that girl.
I'm interested to see how the Boston Marathon bomber, how that case plays out. But I think when you kill innocent people, I don't think those guys get off too easy.
Yeah, especially like indiscriminately.
But he's gonna go to jail though.
Yeah, that's what I want, man. I want them to fucking rot in jail. The easy way out is just them getting shot and ending it quick. I want those guys to fucking.
Well, they could shoot them like in the spleen or something, let them bleed out, like do something real fucked up. Like, I don't know, like if that guy goes to jail, that Boston bomber, or say even that fucking
put him in general population in a Boston prison.
Yeah, I want that Dahmer result, like in fucking 3 weeks.
Put
somebody
that little pretty face of his, like, he's in the run house on that shit.
Yo, my girlfriend was in that fucking marathon, dog. Doom.
We Boston strong in this piece.
No.
We gonna clap back.
Yeah, I want to like go to jail with like the people like Departed or something like that. Like, I get smashed in the
fucking Whitey Bulger.
Yeah.
Fucking, I think he died though. But
is he dead?
I think he died.
Who?
Whitey Bulger?
I know he's in jail, or he went to jail.
He definitely. That was very recent. I think he'll be still alive. But yeah, man. I hope they find that bitch, and then also they find peace in the Middle East or something.
We can't just all kill them all. We have to at least like pump them for information. That'd be the one.
Oh yeah, we've done wonders with that. They tell us nothing but the truth whenever they come. As soon as we start waterboarding them and feeding quesadillas with their butthole and shit, it's like they tell us nothing but the truth.
Good point.
End of the day, I hope just these right wing groups, these fires get put out, because again, it's Germany already has a bad look with extreme right wing parties hating on another group. But hate leads to more hate. Killing leads to more killing. Like these mosque burnings, all of that. It's not going to resolve anything.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, I'm for the most part, I don't agree with a lot of these like right wing groups out of Europe that are coming out and doing these large protests. But I think that's kind of the danger when you like when you don't encourage the conversation, like you kind of push people, particularly like white males in these countries, like you kind of like, oh, you know, you constantly tell them to be accepting of everything, and it kind of just like this, they just get more angry and angry. It's like, hey man, like they kind of feel like they're losing shit, and so like that, what could have, you know, been a healthy dialogue turns into like, you know what, fuck these motherfuckers, like just like we're gonna stand up for our shit and nobody else, fuck you guys. And so you have to, you know, be inclusive of all points of the conversation and let people, you know, vent their frustrations in a healthy way before it, you know, turns into something, you know, dangerous and from either side. And obviously we're very familiar with history and how that can translate with, in particular with Germany. So
well, it falls on the politicians too. They need to make some immigration reform too, because especially like, you know, Sweden, as I mentioned before, like a lot of these people are coming in, and you know, Sweden has historically been very tolerant of immigrants, especially in war-torn areas. But when, you know, the welfare system is set up on a certain way, especially a very socialist country like that,
right.
You know, and it's for a certain amount of people, a certain amount of taxpayers too, and you have immigrants coming in, that there needs to be reform. There needs to be reformed in a, you know, responsible way.
Right.
But, you know, burning mosques is not, you know.
That's the thing. Like they're kind of like, especially in countries like Italy, like they're kind of, you know, dealing with the same shit that we deal with in America, where they getting these like cheap migrant workers from parts of Africa to come do their work, and then like these guys get there like, hey man, I actually like it a lot here. I don't think I'm gonna go back. And so it's like, hey man, like you can't have your cake and eat it too. We're kind of going through the motions right now. We do with, you know, the people coming from South America. People get here like, hey, this shit's actually pretty nice. I think I'm gonna stick around for a while. I have my kids here, like, and so like,
I like this New York place.
That's a shitty move. I'm not doing that again. Like,
you know, allow me to get here, man. I ain't going back there. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know, maybe they could take the approach like they do in the Everglades, like with the fucking all these like exotic animals getting released from like Miami and shit into the Everglades, and they just like pay people, like, because right now like the python thing is like eating all the fucking like native wildlife and fucking up other like parts of their ecosystem. So they're just like paying people to hunt pythons. I'm not saying they need to pay people to hunt these Muslims in other countries, but
but you're kind of implying. I'm just playing.
Here's what Dana White had to say. Of course, he's the commissioner of the UFC. I am proud of Jon Jones for making the decision to enter a drug treatment facility. I'm confident that he'll emerge from this program like the champion he truly is.
You guys got your fucking Jon Jones fight last week?
Yeah, I caught bits of it on ESPN.
I'm not a UFC fan, but this story actually reached me. I was, you know, sparked a lot of interest. So, you know, cocaine in sports, who doesn't love that?
Goddamn, big fan of Daryl Starberry myself.
LT Berber.
Gentlemen, what brings me to my next point: don't smoke crack.
Stay away from drugs.
Don't do crack.
And yeah, Jon Jones, for those of you who don't know, is right now UFC light heavyweight champ. Pound for pound, probably the best fighter in the world. He came off an amazing fucking fight last week to other badass called Daniel Cormier. Looks like actually a month prior to the fight, but a lot of the drug test results came out afterwards just recently about him testing positive for like cocaine. A month prior to the fight. None of that information was like leaked out until after the fight, which I understand why. And it's just kind of weird, like, one of him of all people, like, what the fuck is he doing? That motherfucker's young, styling, right? He's doing really good right now. And two is like, why the fuck did anything happen? Like, I think there should have been some kind of like, something should have happened to him, like some type of penalty, some type of fine, something like, okay, as long as it's out in a week, which fucking cocaine stays in your body for like 3 to 4 days or some shit. Like, if it's gone in a week, we'll pretend like it never happened. And okay, well, shit, chances are, yeah, we were right on that one. You're a good kid, man. Just go back and don't let it happen again, okay, buddy?
Well, to set the table on it, the Nevada State Athletic Commission, they tested him, and that's not considered in competition.
Right.
And also by their rules, cocaine's not a banned substance. And, you know, if you want to go that route, apparently the Nevada State Athletic Commission has some very antiquated laws. They've got old WADA rules that they haven't updated, and this and that. But apparently they even accidentally tested him. He wasn't supposed to be tested, but it was like an administrative oversight is what they're saying. So, if cocaine's not a banned drug and it's not in competition, which is 12 hours beforehand,
Yo, bump up.
Yeah, and they got money to be made too. Apparently, they made bank on this fight.
Dude, guy made fucking $500,000 before fucking all of his endorsements, and like he's fucking sponsored by Reebok now and all kinds of shit. Like, he had a fucking hell of a payday. Like, the only money I think he lost like $50,000 because of his Cormier fucking incident, but that was like the only fine that was kind of implied to his purse. But besides that, like the whole cocaine thing was like, hey man, fuck it. It's not that serious, but yet fucking fighters get fucked up for smoking weed.
Yeah.
Like, I think that blows my fucking mind because I'm not sure if anybody has met anybody that's on cocaine versus anybody that's on weed.
Yeah.
Totally different. One is far more extreme. Like, and like fucking cocaine's a stimulant. Like, what the fuck? Like, how is that cool? And cocaine crimes get penalized way higher in our justice system than weed crimes. Like, the fuck is that? I don't get that shit.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that I think the history of weed in this country has like a lot of racist roots and stuff like that. But like it's had a makeover in the last like 20 years. It's like people are more accepting of it. And I mean, hell, you can, if you live in Denver, then you can make bank right now. But it's still, for the large population, like it's still like very much like demonized, and people still look at weed as like this like terrible thing. It's still very much seen as like the gateway drug, and I don't know like why that still is.
I think the weed thing is like, I think it's because of the strong tobacco like companies in this country and their roots in this country. And like, I'm not sure if you know this, but a lot more people would rather smoke weed than goddamn cigarettes. And that's just like, it's going to cripple that market if that becomes exactly like, it's like, okay, weed's in, cigarettes are out, peace out, bitch. Like, but like, I think they fear like that kind of competition, and they have lobbying groups and all kinds of shit that keep these thoughts and this shit and the rhetoric and keep going and recycle and blah, blah, blah. But like, it seems like a lot of people now are just like, yeah, we hear what you're saying, but fuck it. Like, let's get high. But anybody would tell you like weed is and not even the same category as goddamn cocaine. Like, no. Am I crazy? Like, that is fucking Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. tested positive for had smoking a blunt or some shit after he lost to Sergio Martinez for that middleweight fight like 2 years ago. They tried to fucking fine that man $900K. $900K suspended for 6 months. And then his lawyers, thank God, were like, we're going to fucking combat this. Like, this is super excessive. They're like, okay, how about 90K? We good? 90K. Let's shake on it. Cool. You're still out for 6 months, bitch. And for fucking smoking a blunt, like, that is fucking stupid. Jon Jones over there taking bumps in Brazil and comes back, gets $500,000, keeps his fucking belt. The win's still on his record. Like, all that shit is just crazy. Like, there should have been something levied against him for that result. And
the fact that it's because he's Jon Jones. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's like some, up and coming. Is that Pride or Pride Fighter or whatever?
They don't have that anymore.
They had some like whatever.
Go like Bellator. Bellator's a up and coming.
Yeah, they had some like bullshit league MMA fighter doing this stuff. Like, he had been pulled immediately, and then like, hey man, get the fuck out of here. You're gonna fuck our shit up. But because he's this huge cash cow, Jon Jones, and this fight had such a big push for it. I mean, you can't stop the machine.
They already delayed it one time because of Jon Jones getting an injury. Like, all that fucking anticipation was high on that one.
Yeah, they had I think they were predicting 750,000 viewers, and I think the numbers said they exceeded that. Like $50 a pop for pay-per-view. That's some good money. They
raised it, which is another weird thing. Well, it has nothing to do with the conversation, but like they raised the pay-per-view price for this event. And then because it did so well, now they're implementing it going forward. And Dana White promised, like, after the last increase, like 2 years ago, hey, man, there will never be another increase. $49.95, you're all right with us. And now it's like fucking $55, and like they just keep doing it. They get another big fight.
Inch it up just like an amount that's not like,
incremental.
Too much, incremental.
Bit by bit.
That's what, like, I mean, the more like I hear stories like this, the more I get on board with the idea that we should just make all drugs like legal, like in sports, like steroids, cocaine, or whatever. Because like you said, there's like an industry behind it. Like the fact that they know people are going to smoke weed. These guys are living their life. They're going to do cocaine, but they know they can get these ridiculous fines and get so much money out of you for doing stupid shit like smoking weed or or even doing a bump. Like, man, just like let these guys. You want to see
Dude,
bigger.
these
You want to
guys
see bigger,
get
faster guys, and you want to watch football. You want to see the greatest hits. Let those guys do all that steroid shit. Get them big as fuck. I don't care. Like they're already getting concussions out the ass anyway. You might as well just go.
But
all
it's
the way.
like, I don't know. It's I'm not a fan of like steroids and fucking combat sports. Like that shit's already on the brink of like. Don't get me wrong. Like there's a pattern to it. Those guys juice. Those guys do certain things or whatnot. But it's not like no holds bar. Like just let it go. See what happens. Look at the biggest fucking stud we can kind of shit.
But
like
the steroid shit is like, I mean, like
steroids in baseball, I'm all for it. Steroids in basketball, I'm all for
I am
it.
too, but like the purists of those sports are so against, like especially baseball too, because they're all about numbers, you know.
But what is like
ERA,
a lot of just like,
home
oh,
runs,
what,
RBI.
they got to do it natural way. But what is natural anymore? Like,
Yeah,
you go
exactly.
to fucking GNC right now. Like, what the like? I think those are like the steroids like 50 years ago. Like everything like incrementally is being implemented. Like everything gets you a little bit stronger. Like you like get you repaired up a little bit faster. Like I mean, like we're already like just pumping. We're already kind of inching towards that slowly but surely. You might as well just open the market. Just let these guys do what they're fucking gonna do. I mean, that's essentially what we want. We want these guys to be. We want the bigger, faster, stronger. Fuck, man, just let them go. Like, I don't know what the deal is.
End of the day, sports is entertainment.
Yeah, no shit.
End of the day, sports is entertainment. People get so butthurt about this stuff, but like, what, there's no consequences for any of this at the end of the day. It's an entertainment business. It's not affecting like our well, I guess it could affect our economy in some ways, but it's not that big of a deal. It's a bunch of guys making some money. We buy tickets, we watch them on TV, people sell ads. Let these guys roll it up. I want to see a fucking 800-foot home run, and like knock someone out in the parking lot. Hell yeah. That's what people want to see. I don't care. Let them juice.
Just let them go, man.
My whole thing is like I don't want to see a bunch of goddamn Muhammad Ali's, man. All these guys with fucking Parkinson's and fight 3.
Well, that's their choice, though.
Yeah.
Like, there's no victims here. Like
Yeah.
it's an opportunity at this particular career to make a ridiculous amount of money. Like, boo fucking who, man. Like whatever. Like,
But also, if they're all on steroids, then they all
Even the
should be
playing field,
strong. They should all be strong enough to take each other's combat. So yeah,
It's still a skill position. All these sports are skilled.
Yeah, definitely skilled,
It just is, I don't want to, like, even Barry Bonds, in the day, his hand-eye coordination was out of control good.
dude, his swing was fucking immaculate.
Yeah.
His
It
swing
was
was
a
probably
skill
the best
position.
swing of all time.
Yeah, he was still a Hall of Fame player before, he was suspected of taking steroids. So,
Suspected.
Yeah, suspected.
You should just let that
Best
go.
baseball I ever saw was goddamn Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire home run race.
Everyone watched that.
That was the greatest
Everyone
thing.
watched that.
Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire home run race, like when they just kept like here comes another one, don't.
Yeah.
That was it.
Was it Bud Selig is like sitting like Scrooge McDuck, get some pile of money. Yeah, everyone was watching that. Ad sales were up. Anyone who was watching baseball, everyone was watching baseball that year.
Yeah, but in like the real world, the whole idea that this guy did not have anything happen to him for doing bumps of cocaine while everybody else is like cocaine free and shit and like having to do that shit. Like I'm pretty sure those practices would be really cool if they had that little bit of relief at the end. Like, hey man, you land 5 takedowns, coo-coo-shoo. Like,
Yeah, nose candy. But I'm kind of curious, like, I was never a really big fan of like Jon Jones' image. Like I like him as a
Very
fighter.
much.
I think he's like definitely like he's obviously very gifted
He's
in what
elite.
he does. But like but the fact that he tries to put himself out there as like this clean cut dude to appeal to this certain aspect of America so he can get these kind of looks.
I'm ahead of the deacon board.
Yeah, he's like just trying to be this really nice guy, which I'm to a degree I'm sure he is, but like just to the point of like he's like just super clean and does something wrong. Then you have this cocaine shit, and right when the results leaked, that's when he checked himself into rehab, which I thought was a great way for him to try to offset any kind of backlash. It was very well timed or ill timed in my opinion because it just came right after the other. There's no sincerity in the things that he says or does, in my opinion, that comes out to the public at least. And I think that shit is whack. But I'm curious how much this cocaine thing is going to affect people's perception of him.
He's got a good PR person because I think, you're saying very well timed him going into rehab. He was ahead of it. Mm-hmm. And so there's not a discussion of, does he have a problem? Is this good for society?
Right.
He treated it as, and I think the UFC commissioner, whoever,
Dana White.
yeah, he was supporting,
commended it.
Yeah,
like,
commended,
this is a great thing. This is the best thing that could have happened.
Even
like,
he's got a problem and he's dealing with it. Like,
fuck out of here with that bullshit. Dana White, like, I like Dana White. I think Dana White's great for combat sports. Period. I think his voice is great and like kind of the kind of his kind of go-to on the best fighters fight the best fighters, and like that's like he's definitely, since his reign as in UFC, he's fucking made it like exponentially better. But you are eating huge shit when you're saying what you're saying. Like the whole thing, like this was a great thing, this was awesome. You know, I feel good for him to do that and this and that. And like we can't just, like his words, like we can't just stop fights. We can't just, you know, like we found that result where we're gonna just stop the fight. Yeah, motherfucker, that's what the fuck you're gonna do. Like there's fucking penalties. There's fucking rules. Like if you don't follow the rules, there's consequences. And if you're just gonna let this guy, like, don't get me wrong, he's bringing in a lot of fucking bank. Like I get it, but you have stopped whole events before because of people testing positive for this, people fucking doing that, whatever. Like you have to set precedent. Like this is like combat sports. Like these guys could fuck each other up like on another level. And when you have these other elements involved that are not being regulated or fucking controlled, and then you're gonna fucking take a step back and be like, you know what? Like pretty much like he's like the exception. Like he's the exception. Like I think it's bullshit. I'm not a fan of it. I think Jon Jones is a fucking weirdo. Like he's a great fucking fighter. I can't take anything away from him, but he's a fucking weirdo. And I think this kind of just adds another chapter to that book of like queer Jon Jones shit. Like that's my stance.
I don't understand him wanting the clean cut look. I mean, I know you had talked to me before about you know, when that mic was still on during the interview, and he's like
Fox
being fake as
Sports,
hell.
Cormier, yeah.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?
You're the fucking scum of the earth. You are a terrible human being. I actually admire that you can actually be this fake. I mean, really. It's unbelievable how fake you can really be. Like, you are just such a fucking pussy. But you can sure turn it on, huh?
Thank you.
I wish they would let me next door so I can spit in your fucking face.
You know I would absolutely kill you if you ever did something like that,
You
right?
could never kill me.
Oh, I bet you I could.
I don't know why you want to be the nice guy. Like usually, like, you know, at least back in the day, you wanted fighters to be nasty.
You wanted
and,
that
like,
Mike Tyson.
bad guys, and like, oh man, that guy could, like, you know, because like dudes especially too, like you know, I don't know if you're even not like aware of it, but you got, you know, I walked down the street, I size guys up too. I mean, I think it's just like how we're wired, like,
right.
And if you have a bad motherfucker like Jon Jones, you're like, dude, that guy could, you know, he could whoop some ass.
Yeah, not everybody can carry themselves like fucking De La Hoya.
Yeah.
Like De La Hoya was always like, oh, look at that bitch over there, and like the way he kind of carried himself, like, yeah, you know, I trained really hard and
cut that ass.
Yeah, he's a good fighter, and
but look at the opportunities that De La Hoya got because he's such a nice guy and good-looking guy. Like as I feel the thing with Jon Jones,
probably
like,
chasing that.
He's chasing that, and like to be that, even though he's a fighter and he's like in this very like kind of primal like sport or whatever. To be palatable to a certain aspect of the certain population of America, it's more profitable for you to be the nice guy. That's how you get invited to the White House. That's how you get the Kmart commercial. That's how you do all this other shit that gets you all this extra money outside of UFC by being a likable person. If you're just going on there like, yep, fuck these guys, I'll whoop everybody's ass. Like,
what's the worst that can happen to a bad guy? Mike Tyson was a bad guy for a long time. He amassed over $300 million being a bad guy.
Initially, not so much. Like you watch like some of the earlier commercials, like he was very much like.
Oh, he was very.
He had a nice story. He's like, yeah, like I'm this kid from Brooklyn or whatever. Got my white trainer, you know, teaching me how to read and stuff. Like it's a great story. Like so that was everyone's like perception of him. Like, oh yeah, initially, yeah. Down the line, yeah, of course it fucking.
Post rape decision,
he was still knocking motherfuckers out, so it kind of helped. But like initially, it was very much like, oh, he's such a nice kid coming from, you know.
Floyd Mayweather's been an asshole for a while. He's done pretty well doing that.
But
yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, well, Tyson's come back around too. I mean, even though he went full face tat, you know, he's got his own show on Adult Swim right now. And,
oh yeah, that should do pretty well.
Showing up in comedies like The Hangover and all that. But you know, that just goes to show image. Like, it's so liquid, especially in, like, American sports, like Kobe Bryant, for example. You know, people don't even talk about, you know, his rape allegations. Like, I'm sure, like, half the population doesn't even know about it now. It got buried so fast.
Keyword allegations.
Allegations.
Let it be known.
Allegedly.
He
definitely raped a girl in a hotel room.
Ah, come on, man. She had, like, 9 semen in her fucking vag, and none of them were Kobe's.
Yeah.
He ain't got
nobody. I don't remember that. See, I forgot about it. I don't know any of the detail.
But it's like to your point. I mean, like
Nike.
It's like, yeah, man. Like I think we demand too much out of sports people. Like sports, we have like in America, it's like its own religion. They have to be everything for us. They have to be role models. They have to be good stand-up citizens. Like they can't just do the one thing that they're supposed to do that they signed a contract for. I mean, like I think that speaks to more us.
We hold the goddamn fucking athletes higher than like to higher regard than we do our goddamn president or Congress people and shit like that. Like these fucking senators.
You think those guys aren't doing cocaine? Like those guys are going butt nuts over there. Like in
these
Congress.
guys in like Roman times would be just ripping each other's heads and fucking mad whores. Like that's literally all they had to do. They would eat way more than everybody else to keep that form and just take the next guy's heart out, eat it for fucking like some tartar shit, and then bang like 9 Amazon bras the next day. Like. That was literally all they had to do, and then they happy, you happy, we good, caveman shit. But
it's funny too. It's like when I hear like, oh, we have such passionate fans. Like American sports fans are passionate. You know who else is passionate? ISIS. They're very passionate. So maybe we need to look at ourselves a little bit, and But end of the day, this whole image shit with Jon Jones it's just funny to me. It seems like so much work.
You want to be a killer, man? Be a fucking killer, bro. Like
be a badass. People like badasses.
I like Ronda Rousey. She's
they
a
love
badass.
to hate badasses.
Ronda Rousey's like, I think she walks a good line. Like she's super cool, like fucking Olympic medalist, all this shit or whatever. Not not too bad on the eyes. But she slit a fucking throat. Like she whooped the shit out of girls, but she does it right then and there. I like the way she kind of carries herself through all of this. Like Jon Jones tries to be in that realm, that spotlight, but he's just so fucking whack. He's just. God, he's so whack.
That's got to be so much time and effort to keep up an image of someone you're not, man. Just whoop some ass. That's what we want to see. I don't care.
I guess Jon Jones just don't talk anymore. That'd be dope. Talk with your fist.
There you go.
And your
Say
feet.
with your chest.
Say it with your chest, little ass nigga.
And yeah, that's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for streaming. Thank you for listening. Yeah, man, please continue to support this cast. Please rate it. Please subscribe. Check us out on iTunes. Check us out on SoundCloud. And tell your friends. Tell your grandparents or some shit. Yeah, man, thank you for your support. Until next time. Again, last thanks to Mr. Fieldmouse for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate your time and your wisdom. Peace.